and what the president said just moments ago about testing in this country, with pressure to ramp up tests to get Americans back to work. And tonight across the country, the fight to save lives continues. New York's governor pointing out about 1,000 new patients a day. 337 lives lost in just the last 24 hours in New York. He says he will extend the shutdown beyond May 15th in parts of the state and hopes to unpause others. Tonight, a devastating toll news that one of New York City's top ER doctors treating COVID-19 patients coming down with the virus and then recovering, then taking her own life. 28 New York City teachers have now been lost. But tonight, looking for signs of hope, the last patient leaving the U.S. Navy hospital ship Comfort. Georgia, Ohio, and Texas among the states taking those first steps to reopen. Some restaurants now seating customers for the first time in weeks, some without masks. There is new reporting tonight on antibody testing as Americans look for any proof they've been exposed to the virus and whether that means they have any immunity and for how long. Tonight, the new study on the reliability of these tests, and New York State revealing today nearly 15% statewide of those tested do have antibodies in their system. But what does that mean as the World Health Organization now warns we do not know if it means you have immunity? Could there be a new treatment? The new research tonight involving a common heartburn drug, and tonight the science, why they think it's worth studying. The food in your grocery store, the warning tonight from a major food producer that, quote, the food supply chain is breaking. What that could mean for meat at the supermarket and the prices you pay. And the crowded passenger plane here in the U.S., the flight nearly full, little chance of social distancing. But is there any way to avoid it if you have to travel?
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us tonight as we begin another week together, another week in America. And tonight, of course, the newest test for this country, how and when to reopen. The president moments ago aware of the pressure to ramp up testing to give Americans some reassurance before going back to work, back into the community. The president calling on several private companies. They then talked about how they're ready to increase testing in the coming weeks. He also talked about trying to reopen schools in part of this country before the end of the school year, what the president just said about that. And of course, all of this as we mark nearly 56,000 lives lost in this country, nearly 5,000 more lives just since Friday. In hard-hit New York tonight, the last patient seen leaving the Navy hospital ship, the Comfort, but the state is still registering 1,000 new COVID patients entering the hospital every day. Massachusetts still at the peak of this outbreak, the state ramping up testing for first responders and for nursing home residents and staff. And there are the scenes across the country of businesses beginning to reopen. In Georgia, Waffle House, for one, welcoming customers again. Tennessee doing the same. Inside, what social distancing looks like, a waitress in a face mask, a table with blue tape there where you're not allowed to sit. But of course, there will be many questions along the way. That image I showed you in the headlines there, the scene on this flight, nearly full from New York to Charlotte, little room to social distance, though we saw many masks there. And can you really avoid this if you have to fly with so few flights? And then that major concern tonight over the food supply. One major meat producer saying, quote, the food supply chain is breaking. So what will that mean at the grocery store and how much will you have to pay? We have a lot to guide you through on a Monday night, and we begin here with ABC's Tom Llamas right here in New York.
As restaurants in Georgia open for business and talk in Washington turns to reopening, at the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, the battle is far from over.
Number of new cases, still 1,000 new COVID cases every day. Puts it in perspective.
In Manhattan, Ruth Caballero of the Visiting Nurse Service boards a city bus, heading to the new front line of this fight.
I'm the nurse that spoke to you this morning. We're outside.
She suits up, gown, mask, gloves.
I'm now going to see a COVID positive patient that was discharged from the hospital yesterday.
For the patient she sees, leaving the hospital is just the first step.
They're weak, and emotionally, they are afraid. They're afraid that they're going to die. They're afraid that they sent them home to die.
In the hospitals they leave behind, the work never stops, taking a profound toll on the doctors and nurses witnessing so much pain. Tonight, the New York Times reporting the medical director of the emergency department at New York Presbyterian Allen Hospital, Dr. Lorna Breen, dying by suicide. Dr. Breen had contracted the virus herself, recovered, and gone back to work. Her father telling the Times, make sure she's praised as a hero, because she was. Tonight, anguish from her friend, Dr. Debbie Yee Maddock.
I originally felt sad And now I just feel devastated. With all these people who are asking for lockdown to end, what about us? We didn't sign up for this.
And in New York today, Governor Andrew Cuomo urging residents to stay at home so any gains aren't lost.
May 15th is when the pause regulations expire statewide. I will extend them in many parts of the state.
In other parts of the country, the virus still raging. Massachusetts now seeing its surge plateau. The governor announcing nearly 2,900 people have died, a staggering 56% of them in nursing homes.
The numbers are tough to comprehend, but they illustrate the lethal grip COVID-19 can have on seniors.
But in one hard-hit state, a reason to cheer. For the first time in 36 days, no one in New Orleans died of COVID-19. Parts of the South now planning to reopen. Restaurants in Tennessee and Georgia started welcoming customers today. Stephen Leslie's restaurant, Roasters, has been open for 30 years. Today, supplies rolling into the kitchen.
I'm kind of excited because these are my family. I get emotional. But, you know, these guys need work. They need to make money.
Texas restaurants, museums, libraries, and malls now allowed to open their doors on Friday at 25% capacity. In Ohio, manufacturing and construction can resume next week. Some offices can open too with reduced staff, masks, and health checks.
I think we found the sweet spot, but it's a risk.
Health officials warn Americans should still practice social distancing. But over the weekend, crowds flocked to California's beaches.
This virus doesn't go home because it's a beautiful sunny day around our coasts.
But today, President Trump sending a different message on a call with governors, urging them to seriously consider reopening the nation's schools. And as states reopen, the president is under pressure to step up testing. Today, he brought business leaders to the White House.
The testing that's been developed and being developed right now has been truly an amazing thing.
All right, so let's get to Tom Llamas again with us tonight. And Tom, we heard the president there moments ago talking about testing, several private labs announcing they're ramping up the testing. The president knows he's under pressure here to reassure Americans that there will be the tests available to try to rejoin society. But I also took note that he talked about opening schools across this country, in some parts of this country, and trying to do so perhaps before the end of this school year.
He did, David. You know, the president pointed out the school year is almost over, but he said several schools could open for a short period of time, but he didn't say exactly where. He also added that young people seem to do well with this virus, but early on, a doctor explained to me the big fear with coronavirus in children is not them getting infected. The big fear, David, is them coming home and then infecting their parents and their grandparents.
Yes,
David?
Because oftentimes they're asymptomatic. All right, Tom Llamas, great to have you leading us off again tonight. There has been so much talk about antibody testing tonight, new results for New York for one here. And this all comes after the World Health Organization said there is no proof yet that antibodies mean you have immunity. So we ask, what is the hope here? And if it turns out we do have some immunity, for how long? What we've seen in other viruses and the common cold. Here's Kaylee Hartung tonight.
Tonight, states laser focused on testing, expanding screening for COVID antibodies. New York has run 7,500, nearly 15% testing positive. 5,000 more on the front lines will be tested, including emergency workers and police.
NYPD was out there every day, and they paid a terrible toll.
In Miami, researchers estimate 165,000 have antibodies indicating prior infection, dwarfing the entire state's known cases of roughly 30,000. But accuracy is an issue. A new study of 14 coronavirus antibody tests found only 3 delivered consistently reliable results.
I worry a lot that people are going to draw conclusions from some of these tests that may not be accurate.
The WHO warns even if you have antibodies, there's still no conclusive evidence of immunity.
I think what WHO was saying, we don't know how long that effective antibody lasts. And then I think that is a question that we have to explore.
While it's unknown whether there's immunity to COVID, with SARS it's estimated to be 24 months. In the common cold and flu, just 6. But people with antibodies may be key to treating the most critically ill. That's why I donated plasma after recovering.
I just can't believe that I have the ability to do something that could be so helpful.
Just 2.5 weeks ago, Jimmy Hayden was in a coma and given a dose of experimental plasma.
In my heart, I believe that, the plasma did it.
Today, back at home with his wife and 4 kids, meeting the man they credit with saving Jimmy's life.
And David, I can't even put all the words together to say thank you.
All I want to say is that I was happy to do it, and I'm glad you're well.
You just know that you are our hero.
I just love that, seeing the donor and the patient brought together. Kaylee, back with us tonight. I know those plasma donations, like the one that you made, can help up to 4 people, we've been told. And the Red Cross just contacted you today with an update about your donation.
Yes, they did, David. The Red Cross tells me my plasma has been processed and is helping 3 patients in urgent need. I'm scheduled for another donation in a couple of weeks. David.
Really great news. Thank you, Kaylee. There has also been talk here about whether a common heartburn drug could actually be used to treat COVID-19. A hospital group here in New York is looking at whether the key ingredient in Pepcid, that popular heartburn medicine, can actually help. Tonight, the potential science behind this, and of course the extreme caution here, because they do not want to run on Pepcid. Here's Eva Pilgrim.
Tonight, the search for a treatment. Scientists in New York now focused on a popular heartburn drug, famotidine, the active ingredient in Pepcid.
We're not using conventional, what we call Pepcid or over-the-counter reflux doses. We're using much larger doses.
Doctors at Northwell Health are giving the drug intravenously to some patients in a study, coupled with hydroxychloroquine, that controversial anti-malaria drug. Until now, they have been very discreet about the research.
Were you worried if word got out that you were doing the study, there'd be a run on Pepcid in pharmacies?
Well, I think that's a definite real possibility.
The study started after doctors in China noticed that patients who just happened to be taking famotidine for heartburn fared better in their fight against COVID-19. The basic theory, famotidine may help slow down the virus. They think it could latch onto the drug, limiting its ability to spread through the body.
Famotidine might be very effective as an antiviral agent.
And right now, the study has about 180 people. They're hoping to have around 1,200 participants. And while this drug is considered to be generally safe, researchers warn you should not go out and buy this drug for home treatment of the virus. They don't know yet if it works. David?
Yes, we cannot say that enough. Eva Pilgrim, thank you. And of course, tonight we continue to follow the food here. The farmers forced to discard aging produce and milk, and now meat. The warning tonight from a major meat supplier that the food supply chain is breaking in this country. So what could that mean at the grocery store? Here's Steve Osunsami.
These are the lines across the country, thousands waiting for food that they can no longer afford to buy on their own. And this was the governor of New York today, talking about dairy farmers upstate overflowing with product that they can no longer sell.
We have people downstate who need food. We have farmers upstate who can't sell their product. We have to put those two things together.
One of the country's largest meat providers has taken out this ad in large newspapers explaining that the food supply chain in America is breaking and predicting limited product and higher prices for their meats. COVID-19 has forced 13 of the country's largest meat plants to close tonight. And the chairman of Tyson Foods says that protecting workers means that millions of pounds of meat will no longer be shipped to grocery stores. He says there is a serious food waste issue and that these same producers could have fed the nation. We first told this story here in a report that has now inspired a movement.
We watched your program last Tuesday, April 14th, and it started with the idea that we need to do something about this.
Hundreds of volunteers are raising money to buy food from farmers.
We're able to buy food from farmers and simultaneously feed the people in the South Bronx that need that food.
This tonight is the fruit of their labor. More than 43,000 pounds of potatoes trucked across the country from a farmer in Idaho.
Well, we just love that. We have celebrated where we've seen it happen. And tonight, Steve, I know New York's governor has now announced a plan to get food from farms in New York State to the food banks that need it.
That's right, David. It's a plan to buy that food, give it to people in need, but it takes it a step further. They're also working with companies like Cabot Cheese and Chobani to process all this extra milk and turn it into yogurt and cheese products that will be given to food charities. David.
Just great ideas coming in, Steve. Thank you. And our reporting continues on small businesses across the country. Today, another desperate scramble to get help from the PPP program, and some trouble on the website didn't help. Here's Mary Bruce.
Tonight, the race is on for small businesses to apply for a new round of government funding, but already it's off to a rocky start. The online loan application process today plagued with technical problems. The $310 billion is expected to go quickly. There's already a massive backlog after the first round of funding ran dry in just 13 days. In California, comic book store owner Joe Field has been trying for weeks to get a loan. Tonight, he tells us he's still waiting.
The funding is going to help pay for some of the expenses that we've incurred through this, but it's not going to get anywhere close to paying for all the losses that we've incurred.
But many bigger companies have been able to get funding, like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Shake Shack, and Sweet Green. With outrage growing, they've given the money back. Today, the LA Lakers announced when they learned the original fund had been depleted, they returned the $4.6 million they were given.
Now, experts tell us this fund could run out of money again within a week, and we are already seeing calls from some of the nation's top banks for Congress to fully fund and expand this program if they want to have any hope of meeting this huge demand. David.
All right, Marion, I know you'll stay on it. In the meantime, a troubling headline overseas tonight in the UK, an urgent alert to doctors there about a rare but dangerous reaction to the virus in children. James Longman now from London.
Tonight, concern in Britain about a rare but dangerous reaction in some children testing positive for coronavirus. An alert sent out to doctors across England warns of a multi-system inflammation with flu-like symptoms causing severe illness.
The National Clinical Director for Children and Young People to look into this as a matter of urgency.
Described as something akin to toxic shock syndrome with fever, rashes and difficulty breathing. Fewer than 20 cases reported and children still overwhelmingly the least affected by coronavirus, but a worrying development.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is back at work tonight. He was out of action for weeks after catching coronavirus, but he has a lot of work to do. His government has faced a lot of criticism for how it's handled this crisis. David.
All right, James, our thanks to you again tonight. And when we come back here, the widening mystery surrounding North Korea's Kim Jong-un. The president saying just moments ago he has a very good idea what's happening here. And so Martha Raddatz standing by in a moment.
Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. Many of you still need to be on the road right now. Toyota is here to help.
We're offering an incredible 0% on our most popular Toyotas. That's 0% on Camry, 0% on RAV4, or 0% on Tacoma. Plus, Toyota will defer your payments for up to 90 days. And if you need service for your current vehicle,